אנחנו מתחילים מההתחלה. תודה.
השמש העולה דרכנו שוב עונה מזרח הראש נפשנו עוד לא שחה אנו צופים לקראת שעה גדולה צפוף הראש נפשנו עוד לא שחה חוצבים אנו גורל ביד רמה נושאים בלב תקווה יוקדת אנו זוכרים כי יש לנו אומה אנו יודעים כי יש לנו מולדת אנו זוכרים כי יש לנו אומה אנו יודעים כי יש לנו מולדת.
תודה רבה. כולם אפשר לשבת. אני מבקש את צמח לנחל מחל. שומעים טוב עכשיו? זה יותר טוב. מאחורה, אוקיי. אז אני שמח להזמין את יושב ראש של המחל נחל כאן בארץ להסיר את הדגל הישראלי. The B'nai Zion Memorial Glen is the place where we store our memories. This is where our memories are retained, even if we are not around to tell them. As we stand here in the Memorial Glen, I personally have come to know almost every name on this board, and I think it is my privilege to join with their families to remember them. I think those that we have come to honor would like us to think of them with joy, as we remember how they lived their lives. That's the point. We should remember how they lived their lives. This is a moment of celebration of a life, and the reason we are all together is in that one moment of time we all share a part of that life. I would like to call upon Doreen Klein from Telfed. We won't be here long as people in the sun. We just have two short speeches, and
Anglit or Ivrit? English. You want to hear the South African accent?
yes.
Okay, shalom everybody, and it's indeed an honor to be here with you all today. I want to thank Dodi for inviting me and to represent Telfed, South African Zionist Federation. And sitting the whole morning and listening to the stories, and really this part of our heritage, and part of our success of the South African Jewish community, and the success of Solalim, the success of so many of the Yeshuvim. Right, we heard from Les about Manof, which was the only the entire settlement was a South African project. From the beginning. It's amazing to see the effect of the Southern African Jewish community on Israel. And so really an honor and a privilege for me to be here and to bring greetings from Telfed, and as Dodi said, to commemorate and also say l'chaim, to all the names that we have behind us to celebrate their life. I looked at the day, Dodi, that you chose for this ceremony. Today is Chaf Gimel Av, 23rd of Av, and I look at the things that happened today. So in 1942, on Chaf Gimel Av, so that was the day that the 8,000 Jews of Rodem were taken from Poland to Treblinka. Right, and that was the day that they were all killed in Treblinka, Chaf Gimel Av. And then we go forward to 1986, and we celebrate today the birthday, Yom Huledet of Gilad Shalit. And today is 29. And I think, those two, if we look at those two very separate incidences, in our history, in our modern history, we see like 8,000 people just disappearing, in Treblinka, just like that in one day from the town of Rodem in Poland. 8,000 people, 8,000 Jews just disappearing in one day. And then I think how the state of Israel, how hard we worked and what we did in order to make sure that one Chayal, Gilad Shalit, would come home alive and come back to his family. And that shows how far we've come. How far we've come since 1942, that today we're able to actually put all our efforts and bring one young boy home who was kidnapped and taken to Gaza, and we were able to bring him home. All that effort from the state of Israel, we were able to do it. And how important it was for us to bring that one boy home. Today he celebrates his 29th birthday in freedom. And when I look at the B'nai Tzion movement, I think that you guys, you're probably the only movement which closed yourselves down because of your success. Right? I don't think any of the other Zionist movements from South Africa can claim that fame. Right? You guys were so successful. You were so good. All your madrichim made aliyah. Right? You closed down because you were over successful. And that's a great tribute to the movement. I myself, as Boger Habonim, okay, afterwards I went to B'nai Akiva, but I started out in Habonim. And so I can say that the movement that I joined, Habonim, so it really, the fact that it absorbed people like you guys, it absorbed into it, B'nai Tzion, really added so much to the movement and raised the level of Habonim to a different level than what it was before. So we really have to salute you guys and the success that you had both in South Africa and instilling Zionism into that generation, and the stories we heard, not only Zionism, but keeping people on the straight and narrow, all right, and making sure they didn't stray too far, giving a framework for the youth, but also your great successes here in Israel. And I'd like to conclude just with it's a verse we're going to be reading this week in the parasha. Ki haaretz asher ata ba shama lerishta, lo ke'eretz Mitzrayim hi, asher yatzatem misham, asher tizra et zaracha, vishkita baraglecha, kagan hayarak. Ba'aretz asher atem ovrim shama lerishta, eretz harim uvkaot, limtar hashamayim tishte mayim. Eretz asher Adonai Elohecha doresh ota tamid, enei Adonai Elohecha ba, mireshit hashana ad acharit hashana. Just like what we read in this week's parasha about the children of Israel, leaving Egypt and going to a new land that they didn't know and weren't prepared for. It took them 40 years to prepare, and they still weren't that prepared for it, right? So, B'nai Tzion, you guys came to a land, right, that was completely different to what we are used to in Johannesburg and Cape Town and other country communities, and Durban and other country communities. We came to a completely different climate, as we can feel today. I think some of us would like maybe some of the Johannesburg mild climate today. We came to a completely different country, a completely different climate, different, summer at a different time, winter at a different time. But that's it. But we made that move. We all made that move, and we are better for it, each one of us here, our children, our grandchildren. And not only that, but Israel is better for that. And as the organization that represents Southern African Jewry in Israel, our 25,000 Olim since 1948 from Southern Africa, we're proud. We're proud of you guys for what you've done for the state of Israel. And we can look out with a great feel of achievement of what the Southern African community in general, and B'nai Tzion in particular, how we've managed to make Israel a better place. I'd like to just remind you all, and I spoke to Leib's daughter about this, and to other people here, is that Telfit, we give out 400 bursaries at Melagot. We give out 400 bursaries every year. You guys, please tell the kids, the grandkids, you guys are all eligible for those, for those bursaries. And even you, if you decide, it doesn't have to be only the younger generation. If you decide to go back and study, you guys are eligible too. But we give out 400 university bursaries every year. So please make sure, if you're not getting the Telfit magazine, if you're not getting the newsletter, if your children and your grandchildren aren't in the database, then please come and get my card from me today, so that we can update the database, and then your kids, your grandkids are all eligible to utilize the Telfit bursaries to help them get academic education here in Israel. So on behalf of Telfit, South African Zionist Federation, Israel, kol hakavod to you guys, kol hakavod, to Dodi and to all the organizing team who put such a special...
I have a question.
What's that?
I have a question.
Sure. Who put such a fantastic gathering together. And Michael, you know, you guys are doing such a great job. We can only just hope you continue because, as I said, the state of Israel is a better place because of you.
Question. I have a question for you.
Sure, so questions. Yeah, sure.
You speak of the birthday, very nice and very pleased. My daughter, when she was younger, she had the opportunity to have the advantage of having this amount of money set for her. How about housing? My daughter is living in Tel Aviv now with her husband, child, and it's just crazy. Crazy. Yeah. They apply to Telfed and...
So Telfed is the question about housing, which also for everybody here. Telfed's the only Ole organization that provides housing for Olim. There are 23 Olim organizations in Israel. Telfed's the only Ole organization that provides housing. We have 104 apartments. We rent them out below market rates. They always, right, we subsidize. It's subsidized housing. So we have 75 apartments in Tel Aviv and the rest in Ra'anana. There's always a waiting list for them, right? So I can never guarantee that somebody's going to get it, right? People can stay there for between 3 to 5 years. But certainly if your children, your grandchildren, if they're interested in living in Tel Aviv and Ra'anana, as quickly as possible to go onto the waiting list. And I hope to be able to utilize our apartments, as I said, subsidized apartments for Southern African Olim, their children and their grandchildren, and everybody's welcome to apply. As I said, I can't guarantee you'll get in, but certainly worthwhile going onto that waiting list. So thank you very much, everybody, and kol hakavod.
Thank you very much. The last speaker is Michael Mansky, who is the Yoshev Rosh of the Kibbutz.
Keep it short. I know that it's pretty hot. In fact, must be about 30 years ago that I was traveling with not that too long ago, 25 years ago. I was with my wife and my daughter Shelly. She was a little toddler, and we went to a wedding in Haifa. And of course, it was crazy weather. It was a real Khamsin, and it was hot. And in those days, the cars weren't what they were today, and the car broke down. And who do you call? Levi. So I called Levi and I said to him, you know, we're stuck in Haifa. Of course, getting on the kibbutz, you've got to get to the dining room. They've got to go answer the phone. They've got to go to his house. They've got to fetch him. There weren't cell phones in those days. And Levi came all the way to Haifa in his car, and he looked at us. They're schwitzing in the hot Khamsin. He says to you, only mad dogs and Khattaisim take their children and their family out in this kind of weather. And I'm looking at you guys, and in Levi's words, you can choose whether you're mad dogs or Khattaisim. But on another note, I want to say that first of all, on a personal note, I certainly miss Levi Zichrono Livracha. He was like a second father to me. I am a member of Kibbutz Solim. As you can hear by the accent, I'm also South African. I chair the Kibbutz, and I want to say that your contribution to Kibbutz Solim through the years, you might not be able to see it because you haven't been here for many years, but today you have built the foundations of a very, very thriving community. There are almost 1,000 people living in the Kibbutz today. We have a wonderful relations amongst the members. Many, many young people choose to come to the kibbutz. Young people choose not to leave the kibbutz. Our economic branches are doing better than ever before. In fact, I would say that today Kibbutz Solim is in a better way than it's ever been in its entire history. Nobody, for the old toppies here, will tell you that Kibbutz Solim doesn't owe a shekel to anybody. Can you believe that? And that's something that we always remember Kibbutz Solim as being kibbutz in debt. We certainly aren't that way today. And please God, many, many of the young children are joining. Other kibbutzim come to learn from us Solim today. And I think that you guys set up an example that we're following today. And hopefully we will continue this mif'al chayim, this life work that we've established in this kibbutz to make sure that we ensure that this kibbutz will remain a thriving community for the younger generation as well. On that note, I want to thank you. I want to just thank all of you, especially my good friend Dodi and to Doron Klein, who we were on Shlichut together. All of you for coming, and Masha'at Tova, Alu v'tzlichu, and continue the good work you've always been doing for all the years. Thank you.
לפני שמתפזרים אני רוצה להודות לבני הנוער שיושבים שם ואת איתי שסידר את העניינים הטכנולוגי שצריך לבוא.
Dodi, you have a photograph of everyone here.
של כל הנוער?
Everyone. Hey, we're going to invite everyone for a group photograph here by the Luach Zikaron. Everybody's invited. Here we go. Okay, Yofi.
I'm passing it.
Okay, wait, where's Hillary with the camera? Okay.
Come here, Frank.
Don't wait.
I'm not from Bnei Zion. I'm from Moshe Sneh. Moshe Sneh, you know who Moshe Sneh is? Moshe Sneh.
Look at Hillary there.
You know who Moshe Sneh was?
Wait, okay, ready?
Yeah.
Are you all saying one?
Where's Dodi?
Not sitting there.
Can't see you, boy.
Reka, one,
Oh.
two,
And another one, another one. One more, take some more.
Reka.
Stay, Frankie.
Okay,
No,
stop.
don't say done. Don't say done.
Wait.
Don't say done. Don't say done.
Where's Elsa Gordon?
Okay, now all together. That's it.
Relation,
Done.
All right, thank you.
אבל בואו אתם.
Buena. Nina.
רגע.
רגע. Hang on a second.